Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. I was just thinking about something. A story that my mother told me, and she said that I was about 2 years old, and she had, I guess I don't know, I guess I was about, no, 2 or 3 or 4, something like that, but I was under 5. I remember that. I got to ask her again how old I was when I talked to her. Um, But I was a young'un, and I was outside, and my mother had went in, I guess for a moment, took her eye off me. And we lived by railroad tracks. Somebody knocked on the door and asked her, does she have a baby? And she said, yes. She said, well, your baby is up on the railroad tracks. This is the story that my mother told me. My mother ran to the railroad tracks and grabbed me just as the train was coming. And to this day, my mother, it was just a stranger that knocked on the door. She don't remember anything about him. And the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me when my children were little. My son was like 5, and we lived in a cul-de-sac, and it was kind of tucked in the back. And my children were playing in the front, and my son was about 6. My daughter was like 5, and they were right there in the front. And I told him, I was sitting there watching TV, looking at the oppression. And I told him, make sure you keep an eye on your sister. Now, he's 5, but I'm looking at him. I can see him, too, out the door where I'm sitting at. I can see him right where I'm sitting. But I'm also looking at the TV. Somebody knocked on my door and asked me, do I have a baby, a little girl? And I said, yes. Well, your little girl is walking down the street, almost at the main road. So I didn't even have my shoes on. Hot California sun. I walked down the driveway, down the end of the driveway. Got to walk to the end of the driveway, and I looked down the street. She was halfway. She was almost there, pushing her doll stroller. I took off running. And that hot sun was burning my feet, that hot asphalt. But it taught me a lesson. Keep your eye on yours. Keep your eye on yourself. And grow. It taught me, I thought about a lot as I was running down that hot street, praying that I get to my daughter before she made it to that street, that main road, because she was almost there. And then I did the wrong thing. I called her name. She didn't even know I was running behind her. I called her name. She turned around and looked at me and started laughing. And then she started running. And oh my goodness, I ran. Whitney! I ran and snatched her and the doll stroller up. We were about a quarter of the way to the main road. I snatched her and the doll stroller and the doll, all of us. I was all out of breath. She thought it was a game. I learned a lesson that day. Anyway, didn't nobody go outside. I was mad. Ain't nobody going outside. We got to go somewhere. Oh, honey, that did it for me. But no, they went outside. But it's a love. Now I know why I love trains. And I do. I love trains. I don't get mad when a train comes because a train is running product. that you need. You know, you may buy something that's on that train. It's headed to a store somewhere. It's headed somewhere where you're gonna buy those wares. So let the train go through. And I know it comes through often. Well, then why don't you go to a city council meeting and give them a projection? Hey, an idea, a hypothesis. See, because they're gonna guess at it and talk about it, but it may come to pass. See, enough folks speak on it. Words try to come out all together. See, that's wisdom. Enough folks speak on it, then it'll come to pass. So go down there and get them an idea, a concept. Go put this in their head. Hey, what about a bridge? I know the train got to come through. Can we have an overpass? And the train can just sit there all day if it want to. I understand they get tired too, and they got to let the train rest, run track back and forth, retrack, run over here, run over there, run there, everywhere. You got to check product, run in, make sure ain't nobody in there, ain't nobody looking in. So, we trying to grow, we don't want to hold up progress, we trying to keep it moving. And, give them that idea to, see, that's what you got to do. You got to be the change. If you want change, you got to be the change. So I say, okay, well, let me get up here and say something. And I did not know, that it was going to be this, a show, a podcast, broadcast, worldwide, from nationwide to worldwide. I was nationwide on the radio, now I'm worldwide. Here we go. Growing up in God, we on the rise, we on the move, we on the come up. We growing up. We on 100. All you got to do is check your heart. The love, peace, and soul train is coming for a city near you or straight to you. God bless you as you grow. It's going to be a beautiful day today. I'm saying it because I'm knowing it and I'm grasping at the moment because it's a beautiful day right now. And I'm going to hold on to that. I ain't going to let nobody take my joy away, honey. I remove myself from evildoers. I'm not that kind of company to misery. See, I bring misery up out of your company. Look, misery, I got something to tell you. I bring misery out of his company. God bless you, misery. Do you know God? Misery, let me tell you something. God is love. Do you love you, misery? Begin with you. And if you love you, then you can begin to see the world differently. You can begin to see the world is actually beautiful. This is it. This is life, the one you get, misery. Sow Love, grow, and have a ball. It's time to rise. Misery love company. Well, misery gonna love this kind of company because I'm not, woe is not you, grow is you. And it definitely ain't me. Woe is not me, grow is me. I live to grow and I grow to live for God every day, misery. So here's the misery. Here's the mystery, Here's the misery. Misery, I'm going to give you some different kind of company. Here's the misery. I love that movie. Now that's a movie that I can just watch over and over because of the will to live, the will to survive against misery. Misery love company. But to rise up over misery. And Kathy Bates, a beautiful queen, beautiful soul, whom I love, Kathy Bates. I'm going to tell you something. The legends that have touched you and impacted you in your life, honey, if they're dearly departed, they're just that, dearly departed. But they still grow with you right there in your heart. That impact, all these legends. People who I wanted to meet, who I never got to meet. Like Michael Jackson and what he meant to me. Fairy tales do come true when you have God. Black Barbie, when you got God, you got everything. So yeah, I'll be Black Barbie. When you got God, you got everything. Ken out there somewhere. God is already revealed. for how could you love the world with no one to love you? Something to that effect. Something like that. That God revealed to me. But it didn't matter because I understand that my life is not my own. To God I belong. And thank you, God, for sending me a companion. Somewhere in the future. That's weird. Somewhere in the future. And I grow in the here and now. I grow for God alone. And I love being alone. I'm here alone. You hear me? All you hear is the sound of the birds. I just love it. This kind of peace I haven't had in over 30 years. 30 years of raising babies, daddies, baby daddies, fooling, love, falling here, slipping. I mean, just so much. 30 years. A life of oppression. I remember when I first stepped into it. And now God brought me out of it. A life of oppression. Trusting people. And it began when I got out of the U.S. Navy. I was so happy to be out of there. I was glad. I couldn't get the locker right. I couldn't get nothing right. Couldn't shine the shoes right. Wasn't nothing right. Well, if I ain't got it right, you ain't got it right. Then let me out. Just let me out of here. Because, see, I ain't got it right. I kept failing. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't get it right. You know? I mean, I'm folding the underwear like you said. You said folded in 3/4. It's in 3/4. What's wrong with it? You keep saying it's wrong. It was, I don't know what it was, honey. But that's what it was. I couldn't get it right. So I tell you what. I keep trying. I'm trying, nothing beats a failure but a try. Okay, well, I'm going to keep trying. And I kept trying. I couldn't get it right. Couldn't shine it. I sit there with everybody else while they shine their shoes. Shoes ain't shine right. Don't look right. Shine them some more. So I'm shining. I shine the shoes. I fold the underwear. I did all that. But anyway, couldn't get it there. So time to grow. So I was let go. And I remember walking out that chain link fence. It was 86, 87, 87, 86. But I was happy. I went and got a hotel, found me a job in Orlando, Florida, and I began my life. 2 days later, that's when oppression would begin to hit. I had left my money in the hotel room, and the maid stole it. And that was all I had. And, of course, what could you do? There was nothing to do. It was gone. I filed a report with the management. My money's gone. So that was all I had to pay my rent there until I got my check. So I told my co-workers of my plight, and one co-worker, very, very nice lady. I don't even remember her name. She had a little girl. She was Native American. She was beautiful, beautiful lady, beautiful little girl. And she said that I can come and stay with her and pay her rent. So, as a roommate. So I went and it was fine. It worked out great for the first 3-4 days. And then I began to see, I would help take care of the little girl. I didn't mind, help taking care of her. She was a sweet little girl. I wish I knew their name. I wish I could remember their name, but I don't. I wasn't there with her that long. But I would help take care of the little girl, and I would see her mother walk around the house, and she would look at me with her eyes real wide open, like she's a zombie. She would just look at me, and then she'd start peeping out the windows. I never seen nobody act like this. And so sometimes I'd be sitting there talking to the little girl, and we'd be playing, and then her mama entered the room, and she just look at us, with the wide eyes, and then start peeping out windows and looking out the windows and stuff. And I'm watching this, I'm seeing this. I'm only there for a few days, and I'm seeing this going on. And I'm watching it. Her walking around when she's home, looking out the windows, peeping out windows, looking at me, never saying nothing, just looking at me. And so I put two and two together. What was going on? Okay, well, I see. All right. Lord, God, now what? Okay. So one night, I happened to be there when some company come over. And they sitting all in the floor. And they passing a coat hanger. On the end of it is some cotton. Then he got a container with some white liquid in it. And they passing it around. I'm sitting there with them. Then it comes my way. I'm actually there with them, but I'm backed up. I'm good. But the stuff comes my way, and she tells me to do it. And I told her, no, I ain't doing it. And she said, you do it or you get out. So I said, I tell you what, I didn't, without another word, I rose up and went and got my stuff and walked out the door. And that was it. Grow. See, I made up my mind a long time ago about that. And what I know is, mind over anything. I understand that. Mind over anything. And I know I don't want my mind to be under that. I see the way you acting. I don't want to act like that. I don't want that stuff making me walk around look like that, doing that. So, no. Grow. I'm on something else. God got me on a journey. And I've been around many people. Boyfriends, husbands, who did it. And offered it to me. No. Never. A life of oppression. Thank God. Never led to that. But it did lead to alcohol and alcoholism. Because I was a functioning alcoholic. I get up and go to work. I get up and make it happen. I could be just went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, time to get up and go to work. I'm up, honey. Making it do what it do. They would know nothing. Matter of fact, that night, tying another one on. Walking in the liquor store. Don't have to say a word. He already just go to the shelf, get what you want. That's embarrassing. So I stopped going to that store, went to another one. Then he started doing it. Okay, well, now what? Can't make no moonshine. Gotta keep going to the store. Oh, hey, yeah, Had to go in there, go in there and save face. Yeah, hey, give me, oh, yeah, you got it. You doing too much, You ain't got to do all that. Don't front me off like that. Just let me act like everybody else acts. I don't see you doing that with nobody else. When I come in, you just immediately reach. Doing too much. So, Mike down at the stove. Love Mike. I love Mike. That's a brotherhood. That's a brotherhood with the Arabs that goes back to the motherland. Back to Arabian Nights, the Swahili, trading with the Arabs. Honey, we have a beautiful history. We do, as a people. We are one. We are one with a beautiful history. Black history, Black history. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We getting over. We coming up, on the come up, on the love, peace, and soul train, rolling on full steam. God bless you as you grow.